give Wright St credit. After we evened the series yesterday, they came out today and they played a really good ball game behind their starting pitcher, Danny Sexton. We knew that we were going to have a tough test ahead of us today, Sexton being their #1 starter, and he threw extremely well. And the bottom line is, today, I apologize to our fans, and I've got to be accountable. It always starts with me. I've got to do a better job of coaching our players, getting our players ready to play the game. I feel like I failed them, and I definitely, this was a tough one to take, and apologize to our fans who came out to support our players today and to our fan base. Definitely I have to do a better job of preparing our team and getting them ready to play, so it definitely falls on my shoulders. But we just really couldn't get anything going right today. I thought we did a pretty good job of throwing strikes and getting ahead of their guys, but the bottom line is we didn't execute pitches with 2 strikes. They got a bunch of hits with 2 strikes. Every time we made a mistake defensively, it came back to bite us, and we just couldn't come up with a hit. Offensively, they made pitches, and we didn't take very good swings in the strike zone today. And again, it just falls on coaching. We have to try to put our guys in a position to execute better on the mound when they get ahead of hitters, and when we get in good counts to hit, we got to take better swings, and that falls on us as coaches. Our guys today just could not get anything going. And hopefully we can put it behind us. We can have a good practice on Tuesday and get ready for our first midweek game on Wednesday.
Coach, seems like you're still trying to figure some things out with the pitching and the outfield. Where's this team in relation to where you were this time last year?
Well, I don't think it's any secret that we're a pretty good team. When Chase Pender's out there, he's a really good player. We'd love to have Chase in the outfield. But I have to give Chase a lot of credit. He played 2 games this weekend with the flu. The guy, can't hardly keep his head up. He's sick, and he wanted to try to help his team win any way that he could. And, so I felt bad for him. But I have a lot of respect for Chase for wanting to try to help us in any way that he could. And then, obviously, we're still trying to figure out, what's the right mix. We're going to try to platoon some guys and give guys opportunities. But anytime you lose, it's not an excuse. It just is what it is. When you lose a guy like Pender and you lose a guy like Williams, some guys are going to have to step in and try to give us quality at bats, quality defense, and be competitive. And and I expected, obviously, for us to be challenged because of it. And we got to keep fighting our way through it. A lot of new guys pitched. One of the positives, there's a lot of first-year players in the program that played and pitched this weekend. Hopefully they can build on those experiences. But, as coaches, we got to do a better job of executing. I saw a team in the preseason play and play the game pretty well. But we've got to learn from these mistakes. Now we got to do a better job as coaches of putting our guys in a position to be successful. We're not going to make any excuses for not having a couple guys in the lineup. And we'll do everything we can as coaches to try to get them prepared for this week.
Do you kind of start over again this week with the catching situation to see again if those 2 guys who can be the best footballers currently?
Yeah, well, obviously we're going to keep trying to figure out what's the best situation for us catching wise. Wilkie, I thought did a good job in certain situations, and he obviously struggled in certain situations. And anytime you put a young guy behind the plate, it's the toughest position on the field, and to put a true freshman back there, that's a tough task. But we'll keep looking at it. We'll keep evaluating it and keep seeing if there's some way that we could try to put the right guys, on the field to give us the most competitive lineup that we could put out there to help us win.
Do you have a healthy Pender and a healthy Roman Wednesday? Would Pender maybe move back into that leadoff spot?
It's a possibility. The one thing about Chase, he led off last year, and he was really, really good for us in the leadoff spot. Chase is also one of our best hitters with runners in scoring position. And one of the things that I looked at going into this weekend was the idea of possibly hitting him in the 2 spot, maybe even in the middle of the order, simply because we were trying to stretch our lineup out without having Chris Williams in it. So when you take who is going to be your number 4 hitter hitting behind Seth Beer out of the lineup, you try to stretch your lineup the best you can, and we felt like if Pooty was in the 2 spot, he may have more RBI opportunities hitting in the 2 spot and getting on base in front of Seth. So we'll definitely look at it. I mean, I think, priority number 1 is just trying to get him feeling good and feeling like he's at 100% where he can play the outfield and play.
Obviously not the way you want to start a series. Are there any positives that you saw this weekend that you can take moving forward?
Well, when you look at it, I think we got a lot of guys work. We got a lot of bullpen guys work, which was a good thing. And besides that, the one thing that you can't take from this, Wright State was a really good club. This wasn't just some team that was going to roll in here and we rolled the balls out and beat them. We knew that they were going to be a really good club. They won 46 games last year and played in the championship of a regional, and they're a very tough, mentally tough, competitive team. And I thought they came out and played that way. Very blue collar oriented team. They got up there and took really good hacks offensively. And we knew that it was going to be a challenge. It wasn't any secret to us going into this series that we were going to have our hands full and we needed to play good baseball to beat a really good Wright State team. So, but we were challenged, obviously, and we got beat soundly today. So, if there's any positives from it, is we need to learn from this and we need to try to move on into week 2 and be better. So there's just got to be accountability on everybody's part. That's the bottom line. We're not going to make excuses for guys not being able to play for us. I'm going to be accountable as a head coach. It falls on my shoulders. I got to do a better job of coaching, and I got to get our guys in a position to play better baseball, and that's the bottom line.
When you factor in that it was the rubber match of the season opening series, great crowd, great weather, do you come away a little bit surprised the team kind of had such a sloppy and almost like lackluster type performance, kind of lacking spark?
Surprised, yeah. I mean, I have high expectations for our team. I mean, so anytime we don't play well, yeah, I'm going to be surprised. It's not like I'm going to be comfortable with it. I'm not going to be comfortable if we play bad baseball. I mean, that's my job. So, yeah, I'm surprised that we did not play better today. We had Eubanks going. He had a great first inning. The second inning was a tough one. They threw the big inning together. We had tough luck in center field, a ball that hit KJ's glove and went over the fence for a homer. So we had some tough luck early, but we didn't respond. That's the bottom line. When they scored 3 runs, good teams, when you give up a couple runs early, you find a way to score a run or 2 to get you right back in the mix, and we just could not find a way to do it. And we had opportunities to do it with some runners on base, and just couldn't come up with a big blow to put us back in the game.
Logan had a couple of defensive miscues this weekend, but overall, he and Grayson, are you pleased with the way those two played this weekend, and especially hit?
Well, I think they both hit very well. They didn't have a lot. If you look at it, there were a lot more fly ball outs over the course of the weekend than ground ball outs. So, our infield in general, we've got first-year defenders everywhere on our field in the infield. We got guys that haven't started here, all playing on the dirt for us. So in a new position. So they just didn't get a lot of opportunities. I didn't really get to see them in double play situations, turn double plays. It was more of a fly ball out oriented weekend. So we'll see as we move forward, but I'm very pleased with where they're at. I mean, we have worked extremely hard. I mean, this team has worked extremely hard as any team that I've coached. So, it's not like we just, come out and think we're a ranked team and we see all these accolades and rankings and all that stuff. We don't look at all that. I mean, the bottom line is, and we didn't play like that. We played poorly today. There's no bottom. That's just the bottom line. But our guys have worked extremely hard. We came out ready to play today. We worked extremely hard in pregame to get our guys ready, and it just didn't happen. So we gotta start with the coaching and look at it and see what we have to do to try to put our guys in a better position going into week 2.
Coach, obviously a lot of familiarity with Western. They took out extra innings last season, and you hammered them a couple times in the regional. How much does that familiarity help you in your scouting of their personnel and from that standpoint?
Well, it helps you a little bit. I mean, it just helps you with some of the tendencies of the hitters and tendencies of the pitchers, as far as just trying to game plan. And, one thing that with Wright State, it was tough to try to figure out a game plan because they had a lot of new guys. I mean, we had no video, we had no scouting report on the guy that threw today because he was out last year. We really didn't have a good feel for him at all. So it was really trying to learn as the at-bats went throughout the game. They had a lot of new arms and they had some new guys in the field. So, it definitely helps from a familiarity standpoint just with the scouting report. But, bottom line is, Mike Tyson said everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. So, I mean, that's the bottom line. You can go into this game with the best game plan in the world and feel like you're ready from a scouting report standpoint. Bottom line is you got to execute pitches, you got to make plays, and you got to attack the baseball at the plate when you get good pitches to hit. And you got to execute. And we did not execute today, and it cost us a series.